Early on, I realized that there was nepotism in the organization, even though I didn't understand what nepotism was at the time, right? Because I was housed with Senon Grajeda, Chilito from La Rana, and his brother Cuate is an individual I knew in San Quentin when I was in my early years, my first stint. And then I heard of his brother Wino, Thomas Grajeda, and I said, well, there's three guys, right? Three guys that are carnales. And it struck me as like, how did they get in to the organization? Then I met the Moreno brothers. Mike Boo was there with me as well, and he had four other brothers that were, well, the three other brothers, because one wasn't a carnalia, T-Bug hadn't been made. But it was pretty early on that I realized there was a lot of favoritism, a lot of behind the scenes work in making these family dynasties.
Now, you had an older brother that was incarcerated at the time. I'm not sure if he was incarcerated at the same time you were being made, but was there ever thoughts in your mind, I want my older brother to be a part of the organization so I could have some leverage?
No, in fact, the exact opposite is true. Um, my brother Mark was in Folsom with me in Folsom State Prison. I had just got made, and um, I tried to shield him from everything. In fact, there was one instance where they asked, yeah, Mark actually volunteered to put in some work. I'm on the shoe yard. We're in shoe 2, Angel Stump Valencia, Mariano Martinez, and a couple, Spider from Cantaranas. We're on the yard. I believe Spider was there. I may be mistaken. But there was only a few of us back in the shoe because the rest of the members had been released to the general population. And my brother was there, and he was on the yard with me, and Stump wanted somebody beat up. He didn't want him stabbed, but he wanted him beat up. So my brother jumped at the chance, and I was like, no, what's the matter with you? This is live fire here. All shots are fired for effect. They don't do warning shots. And he said, no, I want to do it, I want to do it. So I let him do it. And him and another person beat this guy up in the yard, right under the gun tower, got away with it. And that was that. But David Paez, Big Puppet from Florencia, attempted to sponsor my brother in later years. And I shot my brother down. No, I don't want my brother to be a part of this.
That's unusual that the little brother is trying to shield the big brother. Why wouldn't you want him there? Because you already know that that's going to be a power move for you when it comes to future business dealings.
Yeah, I mean, it could have played that way, but I knew my brother as well. I knew my brother, he wasn't a killer. He didn't have it in him. I'm sure, at the point of me telling him, let's go do this, he would have did it. But I didn't want that for him. And I just knew he didn't have it in him. He was a heroin addict, and that took priority over everything for him. And I knew that would get him in a wreck eventually. And I'd already seen that. I mean, the veil had been pulled back, kind of like in the Wizard of Oz, when Dorothy and the Tin Man and the Lion, and they go and they pull back the curtain on the wizard, and he's just some man pulling strings. That veil had been pulled for me. I had seen the organization early on. It was chaotic. I thought it was a brotherhood, but it really wasn't. It was like everybody backstabbing everybody. There was still some semblance of camaraderie and friendship and carnalismo. But that fell by the wayside. And when politics flew, the first guy that got whacked there was Moe Ferrell. And they killed him after Alfie had went into PC, Alfie Sosa. Alfie's the one that should have been killed, but they killed Moe because Moe beat him up in the cell. And I was like, this is kind of topsy-turvy. This is kind of counterintuitive, right? You're killing the guy who beat somebody up. Okay, he broke the rules. He beat up a carnal. But the guy that PC'd up and came back out, Alfie Sosa, the only member in the history of the organization to lock up and come back out and survive, they let him live. Yeah. So I was like, nah, I'm not getting my brother in this. So that's why I stopped it. It was just too chaotic.
And would you say that the Alfie definitely deserved, I don't know, maybe he probably deserved to be on disregard, like never, was this the mere requesting of PC the issue for Alfie, or was it him? Did he actually get removed and went to protective custody and came back? Was that what it was?
He did. When I first got there, I didn't know Alfie. And I got there. He was on I think it was C section, second tier in shoe 2 in Folsom, and that was the PC tier. And and I get up to the upper tier, fifth tier C section. I'm in cell 29, and I go out to the yard, and Shy tells me, he says, "Hey, be careful what you say around him. We're going to take him out as soon as we get a chance. We don't want to try it back here, because all we can get out is plastic knives, and we don't want to. We want to make sure we kill him because he knows a lot." And then he told me the story that Alfie had locked up. They convinced him to come off the second tier. The Carnales Shy and Joe Morgan. Shy as Raymond Shryack. Told him, "Hey, bro, what's the matter?" And Alfie had 2 black eyes, and he was beaten up thoroughly. And he said, "Well, Mo beat me up. You know, I wanted to protect him, so I came to protective custody." That was his story, right? I wanted to protect him. I didn't want him to get killed for it. And he came back up to the tiers. And I always had this in my head about Alfie, like, oh, he PC'd up. And the first chance that were presented with, we were going to kill him, right? That was what I was told. But he goes to the general population, and he survives. Danny Boy Pina and Angel Valencia kill Moe Ferrell in the cell, and Alfie agrees to testify on their behalf. He agrees to testify that Mo was a violent individual, assaulted him in the cell, and he was, he was a killer, and it's quite frankly, it's probably what kept Angel Valencia and Danny Boy Pina off of death row. And because he testified on their behalf and was willing to accept his death, the decision was left to Danny and Angel whether to kill him or not, and they gave him a pass. They said, "Look, all he's done a dozen murders for the organization. He testified on our behalf, and he's willing to accept his own death. He needs a pass." So he got a pass, and he died in good graces.
Yeah, that's incredible because he's the only person that ever accomplished that feat, huh?
Nobody's ever PC'd and came back out.